It may be your government agencies, it may be your banks, it may be your private sectors, it may be your third parties, it may be your the end users as well. Now, are they all 360-degree compliant? Because you should be always ahead of what the risk is. So it should not be just like you are lagging in that part, because then definitely if that is the case, the things will damage your environment, and then probably you will not be even aware about what has damaged and how it has damaged.
When it comes to awareness and, of course, adoption of certain strategies as well. What is next in cybersecurity? How do you envision the future of cybersecurity?
AI tools, technology, definitely, because ultimately AI is playing with the data. You allow AI to go everywhere in your organization, collect the data the way it has to be. And then definitely with the help of that AI data collection, correlation, analysis, definitely will get some the real-time threats, and you should have a mechanism to safeguard immediately.
Hi, you're watching The Mainstream. I'm Simran Shivalkar, your host for today, and we are back with yet another episode from our exclusive series called Voice of Ciso. This is a recorded session and it will be available on all our platforms, including our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn handle, and our Instagram handle as well. Today we have with us Mr. Sachin Kawalkar. He is a highly experienced and versatile Chief Information Security Officer and also the Global Head of Information Security and Cybersecurity Quality at Neeyamo. With over 20 years of experience across diverse information security domains, Sachin has successfully led teams and managed critical functions like IT security, cybersecurity, cloud audit and compliance, IT governance, enterprise architecture, and risk management. His dynamic and approachable personality makes him a prominent advocate for supporting and executing successful security initiatives. I am more than thrilled to hear his insights, so without any further ado, let's begin the session. Mr. Kavalkar, thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us. And like I said, an experience with over 2 decades now. Can you share a bit about this journey?
Yes, thank you so much, Simran. Very good morning to everyone. This is Sachin Kawalkar. I'm the global head, Ciso, and the cybersecurity head in Neeyamo. Neeyamo is one of the largest payroll organization, and we are providing services across the globe in payroll and background screening. To start with my journey, it was very fascinating. Probably 20 years before, 2 decades before, there was not much awareness on the information security, or probably cybersecurity was just a myth that particular time. But when I started, probably it was the best decision I ever made in the life to start with the information security and work with a large scale organization starting from Reliance, Infosys, JP Morgan, HDFC Bank, a lot of financial organizations. And then I found this is one of the best field probably which is having the high demand. And since the landscape is going to become a digital landscape, and therein everything is going to move on the digital platform, definitely wherein it is dealing or playing with the binary digits 0 and 1, which is called it as a digitalization. And definitely when we play with the digits, ultimately it's information, and that information need to be safeguarded. So no matter what domain, what layer, but yes, every layer need to be protected, safeguarded, secured. And on the top of it, nowadays we have a lot of regulations, acts, laws of local country which mandates to make sure that yes, we are compliant for that. So yes, this is one of the great journey over the last 20 years. I enjoyed every day, because technology is ever growing. Every day the things are changing, and every day whenever the things go change, you have a lot of learnings as well. So I love keep on learning and getting the things which are there in the market, and making sure that they are getting implemented in our environment, safeguarding the organization information, and making sure that yes, we all are protected, and the community as well. So that is what I just wanted to say on the journey over last 20 years.
Lovely. And thank you so much for sharing about your journey. And rightly said, so every day is a new learning experience. Taking cue from that, because we are all now living in a digitally active era. with the rapid evolution of cybersecurity landscape, any common challenges that you've seen, challenges that organizations they face today, particularly in context of cloud security and data protection?
See, this is one of the now the very hot topic, the data privacy bill of India, DPDPA, and cybersecurity is one of the things which are going across the industry, and every industry are worried about that how we need to make sure. Cybersecurity, for me, maybe just 5 or 10 years before, it was not much of that scale, but now every organization is aware about that what exactly cybersecurity is, what they need to do, how they need to safeguard, what are the tools, technology, the things which are available in the market, and how they need to implement it. So it is now on the good maturity level, but still now the threats are changing every day. As and when the technology moves on, the threats will definitely change. Maybe few years before there was no AI or Gen AI. Now coming AI and Gen AI, more than advantage, definitely there are some advantages as well. So whenever there are the drawbacks or the disadvantages, definitely you need to make sure that those disadvantages, or probably we call it as a threat actors, need to be remediated. For that you need to make sure that you are implementing a controls. The major common factor of the cyber security, so called the cyber security world, is the lack of the skill sets. Because it's not only about a private organization where you have the rich skill sets available, the tools, technology available, but we also need to consider that wherever it is getting connected, because cyber is what it is, the media transferring or traveling over the internet. Now when we say the media or the information is traveling, whatever the end points are, it may be your government agencies, it may be your banks, it may be your private sectors, it may be your third parties, it may be your the end users as well. Now, are they all 360-degree compliant? Do they have the right set of knowledge, skill sets, tools, technology available? And I would, in my experience, I would say tools, technology, definitely we have the rich in plenty of tools and technology available. But do we have the right skill sets to understand and then implement it? That is one of the bigger challenge. Probably if we breach that gap, then we will be able to implement, because the processes are available, the resources are available, but how to implement correctly in the right environment, that is something challenging, and wherein we need to first thing which any organization should do is like making sure that the skill sets are enabled. The resources who are there, they are aware about how to do that. It should not be just a dependency on the third party vendors, and only vendors are helping you to protect and safeguard your cyber security journey. Ultimately it's organization who need to make sure that they have the right set of resources, knowledge, and then implementation framework, and then governance, that is all available.
Absolutely. And Sachin, I also understand that you have mentioned, about excelling at managing and building teams. Taking cues from that, what key traits do you look at when hiring talent for security roles, especially in today's evolving landscape? And how do you encourage or foster a culture of security within large organizations?
This is one of the great questions, Simran, because the human risk is the one of the most important factor to be considered. No matter you have plenty of technology, tools, resources, processes available, ultimately managed by the resources, the human resources. And for that only the employees, or so-called the resources, needs to be rich into the knowledge part. I personally see whenever I'm hiring a resources, or maybe in my team, I definitely see, do they have the right knowledge about the current trends? Do they have some skill sets or the baseline security requirement understanding what exactly it is? And are they able to correlate the outside world with their existing, the current business model? Probably most of the time we are not aware what is happening in the outside world. There are a lot of ransomware attacks are happening. There are a lot of cybersecurity issues are happening. A lot of the governance or the regulations which are coming up, but probably the resources are not aware about. So they need to shake hands between these two, and then probably once they understand, then definitely the implementation will be good. But the major component what I have seen is a understanding about a technology. It should not be just only about a process or a theoretical knowledge. It has to be definitely a core in-depth knowledge on your networking part, your application security part, your technology part. Then only you will be able to understand. For example, if I say that, okay, this is what my incident analysis report is, can you please read and tell me? If I'm not aware about what exactly the terminologies or the definitions are, I won't be able to make an outcome of it. So for that, it is very important to understand the core technology, the current market trends, cybersecurity trends, the new regulations, the laws and acts and everything. And definitely understanding that and then implementing in your environment will definitely help, because you should be always ahead of what the risk is. So it should not be just like you are lagging in that part, because then definitely if that is the case, the things will damage your environment, and then probably you will not be even aware about what has damage and how it has damage.
Rightly said. So, right now, like you emphasized on having the right skill sets, if you could throw some light on, the up and coming trends and any certifications you recommend, especially for a cybersecurity leader or a CISO for that matter.
Cybersecurity, as I mentioned, it is just a mix and match of the processes and then the technology. I would rather say it is more of a technology, because when we say cyber, it is not defined that at which level the cyber issue will happen. It may be at a network level, it may be at application level, it may be at a end user level or the end system level. Now, to understand this, definitely you need to have the knowledge of all the layers of components of cybersecurity. Now, as we mentioned, typically in our the technology part, there are the 7 OSI layers. Now, at every OSI layer, starting from your physical to transit and then to the application level, the final layer where the data is getting transferred, you need to understand every layer and what are the baseline requirements of that every layer. Now, for example, if I say that, okay, I have the end system where you have a very critical or the PI information, very sensitive information, the person who is working as a cyber executive, he should be knowing that, okay, what are the things I need to implement on that machine. Probably if you compare the sensitive asset and the non-sensitive assets or the crown jewels, definitely they need to understand what are the controls they need to implement on the crown jewels rather than the non-sensitive assets probably. And then every layer need to be protected, so knowledge of every layer is definitely required, starting from the desktop, the end system, still the final layer wherein perimeter layer when your data is going outside. So if you are able to implement the controls, then only you can assure or ensure that yes, your information is safeguarded. Otherwise, a damage from anywhere, it's a damage. So that is what I would say.
Thank you so much, Sachin, for answering that. And because you also spoke about data, and earlier as well, you spoke about the DPDP Act. If you could perhaps elaborate on that, and especially now that we have a lot of cases around digital arrest, if you could throw some light on that as well.
I guess this is one of the new topic. Probably people are aware about what is data and how you need to make sure the privacy of that information. But where and how, probably that is something which we the everyone need to go into the more on the depth. Now regulation has been published. It is available on the government portal, on the Indian government portal. People have read through, but have they understood the requirements which has been articulated in that law? We call it as a DPDPA. Now probably a lot of people, with the help of the tools and the skill set, they will be able to implement the controls. But it is not about a set of controls implemented in a one organization, because data is traveling, it is continuously traveling, it is continuously roaming. Now at every hop you need to make sure that how that the regulation is implemented. Now probably I am owning some sensitive information and I have the every set of control implemented, but when that information is passing through to the next hop, to the next fiduciary, we call it as a controller or a processor, how I will guarantee that the processor or the fiduciary has understood the requirements from the data subject, and they also have a right set of controls implemented? Just a very simple basic layman example. We get a lot of the home deliveries. Now whenever we are ordering anything, for example, to the wellness is one of the most big channel, medicine pharmaceutical channel in India. Now, when you are ordering something, definitely you need to punch in your mobile number along with your name and the address. We call it as a some section of your sensitive information. Now, how you guarantee that that information is going traveling to the next stop, to the next person, getting stored, and that is getting protected and that is getting safeguarded. Now, if every component, every channel of the data, sensitive data, I am calling it as a sensitive data, is getting secured and protected, then only your entire cycle is getting protected, or the entire 360-degree, the framework is getting protected. Otherwise, you are just safeguarding one component and probably then you are not aware about. So then that will be a big damage. So definitely data privacy bill need to be understood. There has to be a enforcement, law enforcement, because even the law has been published. For example, if there is some incident has happened, there is a breach has happened, currently what I see is people are not even aware about whom to report, how to report, what are the various channels through they can report, what are the litigations, what are the penalties, everything. So that post damage, how that need to be taken care, that is also one of the challenge. So for that, regulation need to play a very important role in the enforcement part, because publishment has been already done. How you are enforcing, post enforcing, how you are guarantee that you are measuring that, and after measurement how you are ensuring or confirming that it is compliant. The framework so called published for protection of a data in India is compliant, or probably majority of the organization has understood and they are making efforts to comply that. Then only it makes a sense that we are reaching or we are getting our objective for which it is defined for. I will take another example, cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity, maybe some years before, it was just like it was a myth, probably. But now, every sector, every corner, you take any citizen, you take any IT professional, you ask him that, okay, what are the 5 things you know about cyber? Definitely they are in the current state in the capacity that they will be able to speak 5 things on the cyber security. They will say, I need to have a good password, I should not do this, I should not do that. Means there is a good well awareness and culture on cyber security. So something similar, it will take a time, yes, but sooner the better before the damages. I guess if we spend more on enforcement and awareness, that will help the objective for the DPDPA.
Wonderful. And Sachin, thank you so much for being so elaborative and comprehensive about DPDP Act and digital arrest as well. Because, like you said, people are aware, but is there an element of understanding what exactly is happening and what kind of data is being shared? So, thank you once again for throwing some light on that. Moving on, you also have an extensive experience in IT governance and risk management. If you could help us with any strategies, or if you could throw some light on strategies that you found most effective when it comes to balancing security with business growth in a hyper growth organization.
Yes, this is one of the very important component about whatever we discuss over last 20 minutes. Risk management, again, it's a very elaborative, it's a very wide topic. But again, I will come back to the layer zero, understanding about the risk management. Now, understanding about the risk management is understanding about your organization, what your organization deal with, what are the crown jewels in your organization, what is your business strategies, how the your business has been enabled for, what are your end customers, what are your the industry you are dealing with, what are the various laws regulations, and that is applicable. For example, if you are into the healthcare industry, may not be in India or maybe not be in the other countries, but definitely in US it's very strict. HIPAA law is very strict. If you are dealing with the credit card information, PCI DSS is very strict. If you are into financial domain, your RBI, SEBI, RDA, and insurance regulations, they are very strict. So first thing is understanding about what your business are, what are your the components, the scope, the boundaries of your businesses are, and then probably implementing the right set of frameworks. There are various frameworks which are available. You can adopt any framework for the risk assessment or risk management which suits your organization. But what you are implementing should reach out to the every corner of your organization, because risk is not only about digital risk. It is about everything: people risk, your facility risk, your processes, your technology, your applications, your networking, your third parties, whosoever involved into that particular business. Ultimately, that you need to define first. Definitely, when you have the proper clear indication of what your the scope and boundaries are, what are the access points to your information is, definitely depending upon that, if you implement the right set of framework, that will lead to a good governance model. And that governance model need to be monitored end to end. Lot of the time we implement the risk management framework, but there is a lack of the monitoring. If you are not monitoring the risk, probably then you are assuming that everything is good. Your assumption is that everything is compliant, and someday it will definitely lead to a major damage. As simple as that. You need to have your servicing of your car on the regular periodic basis, and you don't know what is happening. Sometimes there is a major problem in your brake failures. Sometimes probably you need something urgently, but airbags are not getting opened because you are not monitor that risk. You are not assess that risk. So every corner of the your business needs to be checked, need to be documented. You should be aware about, and then a constant measurement of that. We call it as a typical plan, do, check, act. It's a very simple ISO 27001, the cycle. I love that cycle. Constantly implement, design, monitor, and if there are some gaps, do it, implement it, correct it, again do the cycle. Continuously keep on doing it. You have the guarantee that yes, your environment is well protected in terms of a risk assessment and a management. And at the end, no one is 100% safe and secure. So you need to live with that 1% or maybe a 5% risk, depending upon the type of business you are.
Fantastic. We all can definitely agree to, what you just highlighted. Nothing or no one is 100% safe and secure. The best we can do is, protect ourselves as much as possible when it comes to awareness and, of course, adoption of certain, strategies as well. Next, I want to understand from you, Sachin, when it comes to cyber threats or cyber risk, what is next in cybersecurity? How do you envision the future of cybersecurity? Any emerging trends that you can share with us, perhaps?
Cybersecurity, yes, good frameworks are available. The very first and foremost is very simple, is adopt some framework. Now I keep on saying to all organizations that you should have at least some adoption of some framework. When we say we have adopted some framework or we have implemented some framework, automatically by virtue of that particular framework adoption, you have a good set of processes in place. Now when you say when you have the good set of processes or the policies in place, means definitely policies are defined for implementation. Means you have a structured way of doing the things, you have defined way of doing the things. And when you have defined way of doing the things, people know that how they need to do. So there is a very structured algorithm which you have set in your organization, which need to be followed to protect and safeguard from cybersecurity. Now once you defined anything, then it's a matter of implementation. It's a matter of strengthening to the next level, going to the next or going more deeper into that, or going more granular into this, strengthening your control assessment. And that is what we call it as a maturity cycle, which will keep on growing and which will take some the time for the maturity level. But the good governance or a framework, then implementation of tools and technology, lot of goods best in breed tools which are available, starting from your perimeter, your application, your desktop endpoints, everything is available in the market. How you are correlating the need of what tool you required for. And most of the organization nowadays, they have, I've seen that they have multiple set of duplication. Now when you have a multiple set of tools or duplication available, the correlation and the analysis will be difficult. So understanding of right set of tools which are required for your organization is very important. Governance, the set of tools, technology important is very important. And now a lot of the good advance with the help of AI and Gen AI, which we are playing a very important role to make sure that yes, rather I will say it, instead of your detective should be more proactive or a reactive mode. Because instead of you detecting and then remediating, if you are reacting it immediately, probably the risk which is coming to your organization is taken care at that particular point in time only. And it should be on the real time basis. We cannot say that okay, something has happened and then we will remediate it, we will do a root cause analysis, we will do investigation, and then we will plan for a future. No, it has to be on the real time basis. Typically we call it as a ZTNA, Zero Trust Network Architecture, or there are a lot of things which are available. So if you implement that, definitely it will help in the real-time basis. AI tools technology, definitely, because ultimately AI is playing with the data. You allow AI to go everywhere in your organization, collect the data the way it has to be, and then definitely with the help of that AI data collection, correlation, analysis, definitely will get some the real-time threats, and you should have a mechanism to safeguard immediately. So if we implement this, probably then we are much more sure about our cyber security.
Fantastic. And Sachin, before we conclude this session, I really want to understand from you, being so many years in the industry, over 2 decades now, any key recommendations that you would like to offer to organizations, planning to build a robust cybersecurity landscape, and also to navigate the risk on day-to-day basis, if you could, give any key recommendations or the best practices.
One very simple: learning, 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 awareness, 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 training, training, training. Because see, frameworks are available, it is just a matter you need to implement. Technologies are available, it is just you need to go outside and get a good best in breed technology tools, implement it in your environment. But to do everything, you need resources. To enable the resources, you need a learning, training, awareness.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we all can agree to that. And even when it comes to individual security, when it comes to data protection, I think this principle applies everywhere. And thank you so much for sharing these wonderful insights, Sachin. I'm definitely sure our viewers have a lot to take away from this session. So thank you once again. And I definitely look forward to connecting with you again.
Thank you so much, Simran. It was a great conversation, and thank you once again to all the audience again for listening us. And have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Absolutely. I will see you again. Thank you.